Julie Macken, and this is Speaking of Social Justice, and I'm joined by my colleague, Dr. Michael Walker. Actually, Dr. Julie Macken and Dr. Michael Walker. And we thought we'd do it together today because we started a discussion earlier today on kind of climate change, but also where did Australia's exceptionalism come from? And Michael, you kicked it off by saying there was a time when Australia was not so exceptional. Do you want to pick it up from there?
Yeah, I mean, Australia was one of the nations in the world that created the international system. With Doc Everett, we were one of the drivers of the United Nations, and something we're very proud of. And then somewhere along the way, and people still talk about it, the rules-based order, somewhere along the way, we developed this state of mind that, yeah, we're into the world's rules-based order, but not for us. You know, it's for everyone else. So if you want, refugees, other countries in the world could take refugees, but not us, And climate, it's the same thing happening now. So we're having a discussion about, other countries can reduce their emissions, but it's too hard for us, so we don't have to be bound by that.
Yeah. I guess it first emerged under, dare I say it, John Howard. During the Kyoto Protocol was the first time that Australia decided to assert itself as separate and special. And that was to say that we have a particular vulnerability because we're massive coal exporters, so we need special treatment. And we got a thing called the Australia Clause, which developed these Kyoto forestry credits, which was a complete sleight of hand, but gave us, it looked like we were going to meet our Kyoto obligations based on this sleight of hand. In the end, we didn't even do that. And the clause itself generated a whole lot of ill feeling towards Australia, particularly when we failed anyway. But so we got away with kind of blue murder. People were really surprised because Australia's always been, as you said, a kind of team player. We're into Team Planet rather than Team Australia. So there's a lot of ill feeling about that. And now we're seeing it again, as you said, with refugees.
And even just in the period in between, with respect to climate, that back around the time of Kevin Rudd, Australia was having a media discussion about climate targets, and very often you'd hear this line like, "Oh, look, what's the point? Australia contributes so little. Unless these other countries do something, there's no point." Anyway, lo and behold, here we are 10, 15 years later, those countries are doing something, and we're still running the same line. It's like, oh, well, we would contribute so little so they can do all the heavy lifting and we can just carry on burning coal.
Yeah.
Heads I win, tails you lose, sorry.
That's right. And I was thinking too, like what starts with Australian exceptionalism and sleight of hand and the we are special case, even though we're a first world country with a massive economy and almost no people here, and if anyone can do it, it should be Australia can do it. So it starts like that, but what we've got many years down the track is not a special Australia, but an enfeebled Australia. An Australia that thinks, actually, we can't do it. Actually, we're not special, we're just incompetent and we can't do it and we're too fragile to manage it. Yeah. So it has actually had a really enfeebling impact on us. When, the good thing about being an old lady is I remember an Australian that was really confident in ourselves and really had a great ambition about what kind of contribution we could make to the world. And now that seems to have gone down the plug hole and we're this poor, enfeebled, special, kind of can't do it kind of little country that's still getting away with blue murder.
And we're so well positioned with renewable energy to be a leader, and we keep running this line like, oh, all we can do is coal,
Turns out all we can do is coal. Oh, and the other thing that kills me is we don't want to get too far in front of the pack. Ladies and gentlemen, we are eating dust right now. The pack is so far away from us. We are considered a kind of joke when it comes to actually getting moving on this thing. Let's hear it for no more Australian exceptionalism.
Are we behind that?
Thanks.